Alright, my friends, so welcome back. In this lesson. We are going to explore one of the most important concepts in CSS, the box model. Every HTML element is treated as a rectangle box. Understanding how these boxes work will help you control your spacing, your layout, and your overall design. Let me give you a kind of a visualization to view. Now, this is how your HTML element is. Your HTML element has these properties: the margin, the border, padding, and then the content. So your text is the content, and above your text is the padding, and above your padding is the border. Above your border is the margin, which is the space around, and the border are the space inside, which is the padding, the content, which is your text. Alright guys, let's just dive into the class now. So I'm going to create a file. I'm just going to call it box.html. So notes to take, you can take this down. What is the box model? Every HTML element is a rectangle box or treated as a rectangle box. And the box model describes how its size is calculated. It has four main parts. Number one, content, which is the text or image inside the box. Number two, padding, which is the space between the content and the border. 3. The border, which is the line around padding and the content. 4. Margin, and this is the space outside the element between elements. So you can note that one. Alright, I'm just going to spin out from this server and then spin this new one. So let's assume that we have a box. Let's say dot box. This is going to automatically create a div for us and a class with box, because class starts with dot. If I click on enter, I see that there. So I'm just going to style this. I'm going to say style. For instance, I'm going to give it a width. Sorry, dot box. I'm going to give it a width of say 200 pixels, and then I'm going to give it a height of 100 pixel, and then I'm going to give it some padding of let's say 20 pixel, padding of 20 pixel, and then I'm going to give it a border of 5 pixels, solid black. I should see that on my page. And then margin of let's say 15 pixels. So alright guys, so let's check this thing out on our browser for us to understand it better. I'm just going to right click on the browser and then click on inspect. When I click on inspect, I get this thing spin up. I'm just going to expand the body and then click on the elements. You can see div with a class box, which is the same thing we have here. So I'm just going to click on it and then scroll down. There you will see the box model. You can see the margin is 15 pixels, which is a margin we added here, and then the border is showing as 4.8, which is, but what we added here was 20, sorry, I say 20, it was 5 pixels, but it's 4.8, so approximately 5 pixels. And the padding, we added 20, and then we are having 20 here as well, and then 200, then we have padding of 20 pieces, and we also have it here. So you can see this is the box model of the div we created. This is the content, this is the padding, this is the border, and this is the margin. So now for us to calculate the total size of an element, what we, or this element, how to calculate the total size. So to calculate total size of of an element, they can see the element is equal to the content plus padding plus border, then plus margin. So for example, if our content is 200 pixel wide and our padding is 20 pixel left plus bottom, we can add those things and then sum them together to give us the total. For instance, what I mean is, if the content itself is 200 pixel, do you know what content is, right? Is the text or image, the size of that your text you're writing inside the element. That is what content means. So we assume if the content is 200 pixels, and then the padding is, let's say, 20 20 pixels, let's say only left, and then we have the border to be, let's say, 5 pixels left, 5 pixels left, and then margin. Now margin are not counted in the element size but affect spacing with others. So with this is not counted. It is margin is not counted among the element size. So with this we can say 200, we can say 200 plus 20 plus 5, then that will give us what? 225. So this is the total, this will be the total size of our elements if these are the sizes that we have in that element. So by default, browsers use content box, meaning padding and border are added outside the content. But if you are but if we use box sizing, border box, that is another element. So for instance, I want you to observe this. Let's just take this out. You see how this element is displayed at desktop. If I say star, this star stands for everything I am writing in this file is going to, any style rule I apply here is going to affect everything in this sheet. That's the meaning of star, affect all elements. So if I say box sizing, then border box, what do you observe? You observe that this thing shrinks down. Let me remove it again. and see how it comes out. If I add it again, it shrinks down. Why? Because by default, browsers has their own padding and margin that they add to all HTML elements you write. So by doing this, you are removing such weight, you are removing such extra things that the browser automatically adds to that element. So this makes the layout easier because your element won't grow unexpectedly. It will not look at what we just wrote now. So this is the actual size of what we wrote here. This is the actual size. But without doing this, you can see that it grows unexpectedly. Just 200 pixels, and it has come to like this. But by doing this at the beginning of your code, we actually, whatever thing you write, you actually get the actual size of what you are writing, because this thing will automatically remove every browser styles that they have, so that you can write your own custom styles as well. And we can also say margin to be 0, so that you can see that this margin that we added 15 pixels, this is the actual 15 pixels that we added, 15 pixels. So by default, we want to say all margins to be 0, all padding to be 0, so that whatever thing we write, we are writing the specific things in the HTML element. Now this is what we do. This is how to code. So in your beginning of your CSS, you must make sure you add this at the top of your CSS before writing. But I want to clarify something with you. This doesn't necessarily mean that it must be in every of your file. No. What you can do, you create an external CSS. You create an external CSS. Let's call it css.css. You create an external CSS, and then in this CSS you can cut this thing out, take it here and put it. So this CSS can be at your index CSS. We are just learning this one now. So we can just link it. You can say link, then click on the CSS, and then say ./CSS. So you see that has been applied. So you can just call it like this to your index file. All right then, guys, thank you very much for this, and then we'll be moving to a very much interesting topic now. See you.